Hello, I'm Alan Goldsmith. I'm co-owner of the House on the Hill Toy Museum here in Stansted, Essex with my son Jeremy. I've been collecting since 1947. I was born in the war, and all the children, if you were poor in the war, you didn't have any toys. You had to cut a stick out of the hedge to make a spear, or a bow and arrow, or scramble over bomb sites to get bits of old metal. And so we had no toys. So if I look back, I think I started collecting toys when I was about 12 or 15 to try and recapture my childhood, the toys that I didn't have. And as everybody knows, collecting is a disease, and once you start, you can't stop. Consequently, I kept collecting and collecting and opened this museum in 1991. It's now the largest museum in the whole of the world, privately owned. We have over 70,000 objects. I've collected what I like, my childhood, from pre-war to just after the war, and Jeremy here, my son's gone on and collected from the 60s onwards. I've just written a book on the price guide of vintage board games. It's over 800 photos, and it's the first ever price guide on board games. I think board games are going to be the real collectibles of the future, mainly because women also collect them, so you've got a big wider market. And the last year or two since I've been collecting, you could buy them quite cheaply. Now they're soaring in prices. A board game can be anything up to £2,000, and lots are 100, 150, so it's an invaluable guide. There was over 100,000 board games produced, mainly by small printers, that when they ran out of work at Christmas they would print a board game to sell, and if it didn't sell they were never made again. So there is about 100,000 board games that were produced. The book's got nearly 900, and we will be bringing out volume 2 in a couple of years' time.
My name's Jeremy Goldsmith. I'm Alan's son. I was born in 1967 and grew up in a house with my father collecting toys, and basically got the bug from there. I thought it was just kind of natural to start collecting from a very young age. We used to go to the very early collectors' fairs at Pickett's Lock, and I used to buy the toys under the table, dinky toys, for sort of 20p each. And that's how my collecting kind of started. I kind of cover a different time. I cover 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, so covering things like Star Wars, Thunderbirds, all the things I kind of remember. But we do cross over and collect the same kind of thing together. I also specialise in collecting militaria, particularly RAF World War II, and medals, which I have a vast collection of inside the museum as well. And we're forever looking to upgrade the collection. We sometimes get a double of something, so we sell it to fund extra purchases, but yeah, we're always looking to collect and always looking to make the museum bigger and better than it is already.
This is our robot cabinet. I love robots. It's the space age, and it's quite exciting. It's when, obviously, when we all went up to the moon, or not us, but when human beings went up to the moon. Got lots of unusual stuff, and the exciting thing about collecting toys and robots is you always see something you never knew existed, and you find it and you think, I've never seen that before, and you have to buy it because you will never ever see it again. I mean, I've got that, one of my favourites is this dog in a spacesuit. It's Japanese. I've never seen one since. And a lot of these, obviously, there's common ones, but there's others that you've never seen before. It's like when you came and pointed to the one up there, the orange and green one, and you said, I've never seen that before. And we think we're toy collectors, we think we know it all and we've seen it all, but we realise we haven't seen half. Because you go to some fair or toy fair or an antiques fair and you see something you've never seen before, and you've got to have it because you will never get it again.
Like I said earlier, I was born in 1967, and in 1977 I went to a friend's 10th birthday party in Leicester Square. We went to see a film called Star Wars, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. It's timeless today, but at the time it absolutely blew us away and made me want to collect all the toys, and which I have done. I've collected nearly all the toys they produced, but also we've got an original Millennium Falcon that was used in the film, and inside it's packed with fibre optics, which in its day was state-of-the-art technology, and this was used in The Empire Strikes Back. And we've been told by people, you know, it's worth thousands and thousands and thousands, but it's something that we will never ever sell, and it'll always be on display in the Star Wars cabinets, which children from as old as 2 wow at to people that are 52 wow at, and it's a timeless thing, Star Wars, and I love it still. One of the things I also love collecting is Thunderbirds. I mean, I remember it being on television on Sunday after Brian Warden's Weekend World, and it was a fascinating programme, and what was Space 1999 and all the other spin-offs from Gerry Anderson. But this is such a rare thing. He did a series called The Investigators, and there was 2 props used on there, the car and the boat. There's the only 2 ever made, and we've got both of them in the Toy Museum. And this is the boat, and you can see the size of it, how big the puppets would have been, sort of 2.5, 3 feet tall. And it's got a motor inside, and the car downstairs has also got a little Honda 50cc motor, so they literally remote controlled it. But it's just fascinating, the detail they went to, just the whole kind of design of it. And actually this was produced by Dinky Toys, but of course the series never took off, and so they changed this into the Coast Guard boat, which you will see. And also the car downstairs never took off because of the thing, so they changed it to the Dinky Command car, which has got the star on the bonnet. So they're very iconic to Dinky collectors and also to Gerry Anderson collectors, and a rarity. And we've been again told figures of 10,000 plus for this. So yeah, a nice thing, but I would never sell it.